All right, just getting this sorted out real quick. What is going on here with this? There we go. It's better. Let's see. I don't know what I did. I broke it. There we go. That'll work for now. I don't think we got anybody yet. We're waiting on Dennis, who is always not on time. And I don't see anybody on the live yet. So I guess we are good to just hang tight and wait. What's up, everybody? I see we got 3 people on right now. Just say hi in the chat so I know who's here. We're waiting on Dennis. Dan Best, what's up, Dan? Thanks for coming, buddy. Hope you had a good week. Jason Rockenberg. Yeah, that guy. I know. Dennis is never on time. Dennis Lates. But thanks y'all. Thank y'all for hopping on. We got 5 people now. Wow. Appreciate y'all hopping on. If y'all go ahead and hit the like button, that'll help the algorithm kind of build momentum as we get into this live stream this evening. So, what is up with? He messaged me. Let me actually look here. He messaged me at 8:20, confirming that we were going to meet at 9:30, and this guy still is not here. Hold on. Are you joining? Greetings from Martinez 41, Martinez, California. Well, welcome, Caleb. Glad to have you on here, brother. Always good to have brothers from out of state. If you don't know, Dennis and I are both from Texas. The Masonic Improvement's kind of based in Texas, but we're always glad to have out of state brothers hopping on. Dan Best, I got to go to my local lodge Monday night. It was pretty nervous, but everyone that I met seemed to really like me. Well, I'm glad you had a really good experience. Did you, Dan? So you went to the lodge. You said everyone seemed to like you, but what did you think of the place? I mean, did it meet your expectations? Was it a nice building? Did it seem like that'd be where you want to go moving forward? I'm just kind of curious on your impressions. Devin McLean, welcome, sir. Good to have you. Dennis will be joining us at some point. He's not a timely guy. So we just recorded an episode earlier this week that I'm looking forward to releasing soon. It's going through the editing process right now. We're talking about leadership. So it's going to be a really good episode. It's a very broad topic, so it applies to I would say all men, but it really applies to everybody, not just men, but also to women as well as Masons. So it's very good. I think the approach that Dennis and I are going to have moving forward on our content, we'll still have interviews when we have interesting people to come talk, but I think the approach we're going to take moving forward is going kind of back to the basics. That's how Masonic Improvement started. We started talking about just basic lodge administration, just improving ourselves as men. And we kind of shifted away from that for a while. We went into the interviews which I think was great because we had a lot of great people come on and do some great content that was made from that. But I think just given kind of the state of the fraternity right now and kind of the state of the world as a whole, like I think it's really important to go back to just focusing on how to be a better man and a better Mason and how to better run your lodge. But I think if we first and foremost focus on improving ourselves as men, which will improve us as Masons, then everything else will follow. I think as we grow as men, Our leadership capabilities will improve. The lodge will improve. The state, the country will all improve. Then best, I let's see. I got to just tell everybody that attends. Oh, I got to meet everybody that attends. I thought it was really cool to show me around the building at supper. It even helped me take care of my background check for me. That's good that they do background checks in your state. We don't do them in Texas. I don't remember why. I'm not a huge fan of that. We don't, but I think that's really good. Man, what is this guy doing? It's so much easier to talk when you have someone just chatting away nonstop. So if anyone has questions or anything, or I would welcome you to hop onto the chat. Let's hear your questions, or if you just have some comments or anything on your mind that you want to talk about. More than happy to lead the conversation in that direction. We don't really have an agenda for this live tonight or anything like that. It's just going to be us. Well, for me right now, it's just going to be me chatting away, and then when Dennis comes, it'll be Dennis chatting and me making comments occasionally. As long as we're kind of chilling. Something I've been thinking about doing is, if you're a member, you've probably seen it. But if you're not a member, I don't mean like a Masonic member, I mean like a member of Masonic Improvement here on YouTube. But if you sign up to become a member here on YouTube, you probably notice that we got 3 tiers. And most everybody is the first. Most people are the first tier. And then it got a handful of people that are second tier, and that gets them access to like the exclusive uncut content. And then I got about 2 people that are the third tier. And what I'm thinking about doing is I'm going to do like a daily diary, and I'm going to post that to third tier. Just what's going, and it won't be like really long videos or anything like that. It'll be just this is what's going on Masonically right now. This is what's on my mind. And just go from there. Let's see. Dennis is having internet problems. All right. Dan Best, as a man that was helping me, said he doesn't think I should be getting blackballed. He showed me upstairs where they not supposed to show, so hopefully I will be starting soon. That's really good, man. I'm excited to see your journey as you progress. Jason, what are your thoughts on invitation-only bodies? Keeping in mind I'm a member too, but sometimes I wonder how we square that with all of us being on the level. I'm a member of AMD, the Night Masons and all that, so I'm in an invitational only body. I think us being on the level, that's how do I say this without coming across the wrong way? I think we meet as Masons in the Blue Lodge on the level, and even though these are Masonic organizations, I don't know, man. Like I look at like our York Rite that I'm a member of. We watch the members. We watch Blue Lodge Masons in our district and look for potential guys, and we reach out to them. Like they could always reach out to us, right? But we specifically pinpoint guys that we think would be a good addition to our York Rite, and we ask them to join. We send them the invite, and so I think invitational bodies have a purpose. I think that allows like-minded men to kind of grow more like-minded men in their organization. So I don't personally have a problem with it as long as they're not becoming cliquish, right, or harmful to the lodge or the organization as a whole. Johnny Jarvis, what's up, my brother? Good to see you. Good to see you on here. So I can see where you might be coming from, saying we're supposed to all meet on a level, but I mean, if you look at like awards, even the awards, I mean, are they all on the level? I mean, you could really expound that onto a lot of things. I was at one of my old lodges. I'm not a member there anymore, but I'm a past master. And I saw my picture on the wall, past master, and then a few years after me was the current district deputy. But I was like, I was past master before him, so I'm an older past master in my district than he is. Why is he a district deputy? So it's not about a lot of things aren't. I don't know, man. I get where you're coming from, and I think it's important to be on the level, but I think after a certain point, uh, for better or worse, that isn't, you don't always see that. I think organizationally, if you're an invitation only organization, I mean, I think that's on you. If you're looking at like offices and stuff like that, and it's not based on merit, then that's kind of an issue. Uh, no, it's not a race. It's absolutely not a race. Uh, okay, Jigzarks Rosand. uh, I can't pronounce that. What kind of person should not join? Well, that's a good question. Thanks for asking. First of all, we're a fraternity, so if you're not a male, I would say that pretty much excludes you from most of the mainstream organizations, unless you want to go Eastern Star. Other than that, the kind of person that should not join, if you're looking to get something out of it financially, or if you're looking for something that'll put you ahead in your career, or if you're looking for like a service organization or something like that, uh, probably look elsewhere. If you're looking for if you're looking for something that will help you grow as a man, an organization that will put you in contact with other great men, that will challenge you and hold you accountable, then that's the kind of organization you should be. We're the kind of organization you should be looking for. If you're looking for something that has really old roots that harkens back quite a while, depending on what history you look at, something that's ancient, something that will challenge you, encourage you to grow, give you obstacles to overcome, um, that kind of thing, then yeah, I would recommend it to somebody if they're interested at that point. Johnny Jarvis, are you attending the MRF symposium this year? I've seen some stuff for it. I haven't really looked at it yet. I'd really like to, but it really just depends on what kind of things I have going on right now. My wife's family's having some stuff going on that's kind of limiting my ability to really get out right now too much. Since I got 3 kids and she's spending time with her dad a whole lot, so it really just depends on how things kind of play out right now. So see what Genesis got going on. Obviously, I don't have an issue with them. I'm with A and B in the Knights of St. Andrew, but it was something that came to mind, and I didn't have a good answer to it. Yeah, that's. I'll put it this way. Yeah, we should all meet on the level, right? But that means as as Masons, we're all equal. But even during the installation ceremony for Blue Lodge, it's pointed out, that there has to be leadership, and it's important to not be jealous of them or envious of them, but understand that the leadership is a necessity, and as such, there's a time and a place for people to lead and a time and a place for people to follow, right? And I mean, we're meeting on the level, right? But you have offices and officers that you're progressing, and we're all equal as Masons, but there's still more responsibilities associated with that. And then you have York Rite Masons over here and Scottish Rite Masons over here, and they have their own hierarchy and tiers, and they have their own invitational bodies. So it's one of those things. Like, yeah, at the end of the day, like even if you're an A&D, like I am, I'm an A&D Mason also, and a Knight Mason. At the end of the day, when we go to Blue Lodge, we all step down. We're all on the level, right? It doesn't matter if you're a 33rd degree Mason. It doesn't matter if you're in Commandery and at Templar or past Commander. It Doesn't matter if you're in a grand office somewhere. When the time comes, we all step down. We're all on the level, right? And so, I mean, like you said, and I've said too, like we're both in invitational organizations, and I don't have a problem with it. I don't think there's an issue with it, but some people might, right? But it's all about. I mean, if someone is upset that they're not invited to an organization, then they really have to either be patient or question why they want to be in that organization, I think. Devin McLean, is it true some jurisdictions require members to be monotheistic? I don't doubt it. I think I've heard similar things, but they're not. Um, I think in like South America, maybe in places like that, they may require you to be monotheistic. But most of Europe, United States, there's no. And you could even say like, yeah, we require that, but really it's just a faith in deity, right? Or a faith in a supreme deity. So you could be pantheistic and still believe there's a supreme deity. You mean you don't bring your step stool so you can stand taller than everybody else? No, I try to keep down low so I don't bring too much attention. That's how I stay out of troubles, by not drawing attention to myself. Sorry, Dennis is texting me. He's got internet problems out there in the boondocks of South Texas. So he's trying to get it all sorted out. And in fact, I would say, Jason, like if someone joins the organization so they can stand up and stand a little taller, then it should really be questioned if they know if they need to go in any other organizations. Where's Dennis Gates? Dennis Gates, he's somewhere in South Texas, maybe San Antonio still, maybe Goliad, who knows? But he's having internet problems out there in the country, so he's working on getting that going. And so whenever he gets here, is I assume when the party will really start because he likes to he keeps things going. I'm not very good at monologuing. That's why I don't do a lot of lives by myself, especially like on. I tried doing a live on TikTok one time, and it didn't. It was strange. I didn't like it. Now, Brother Fluff, if you're on TikTok, Brother Fluff, he can monologue all for hours on it. In fact, every time I go through TikTok, he's there talking. But yeah, it just didn't work for me. I go to lodge. For me, the byproduct is my brothers. Yep. Oh, absolutely. Woe to any man who believes his title elevates him above others. Some people really kind of get off on that kind of thing. Like they seek titles. I know a Mason. He's a Mason. I won't get into the feelings on it. But anyway, he said he didn't feel like a master. He didn't feel like a full master Mason until he was a past master because he couldn't go to Grand Lodge. He couldn't talk. He couldn't vote. And so he made it his goal to become worshipful master. That was his goal. He wanted to be a worshipful master. And if you join any organization and that's your goal, if it's your goal to become the worshipful master, or if it's your goal to become district deputy, then you're probably not doing it for the right reasons, I don't think. I mean, I've talked about going into like a grand office before, but it's not really a goal, I guess. It's just if necessity brings me to it, then I'll be happy to serve, right? But I think the people that say I want to join and I want to become a leader, I want to be a past master, or I want to be a thrice illustrious master, or whatever, and that's what inspires them and motivates them to keep going. I don't know, man. I come from the belief that servant leadership make servant leaders make the best leaders. And so if you're serving yourself, you're not going to be a great leader, right? If you're interested in serving your lodge, serving your fraternity, then that's totally different. All right, here comes Dennis. We'll see how this works. Hey, we are already live, big boy.
Good. and I don't need to tell you what to do.
We're ready. We're rocking and
What are you
rolling.
talking about?
We were just talking about servant leadership. Actually, Jason Rockenberg was talking about invitational bodies, and somehow
Hmm.
the conversation went to if you're joining an organization, just become a pass or gain a title, then you're not serving the lodge or the fraternity. You're trying to serve yourself, serving your
Right.
ego, trying to serve that ego. And I mean, you could be a great leader, but chances are you're not. And I would personally, if I knew anybody that wanted to join an organization just to become a pass something or gain a title, I would do everything I could to keep them out.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we've been going for 20 minutes now, Dennis. Let's
Well,
see.
for some reason, in my computer still says that I have no internet, but I've got internet. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
So
whatever works, man.
hopefully it'll continue to work.
Johnny Jarvis says you'll vote for me. Well, Johnny, so I mentioned I before you got here, I mentioned because like I told you, we were talking about if you're doing something just to gain a title, right?
Right.
Then you shouldn't do it. And I mentioned like I had talked about doing maybe some grand offices at one point, but it's not about the title to me. It's about service. And Johnny says
Right.
he'd vote for me. But Johnny, based off the shenanigans this year, I'm not running for anything Blue Lodge anytime soon. Anytime soon at all. It'll take a while for the shock and the disgust of what happened this year to be a distant memory. But maybe York Rat. I might run for something in a year or two for York Rat. We'll just see. Jackson Rockenberg says exactly the goal is to serve. And sometimes serve means to take a title. Absolutely. I keep thinking of Most Worshipful Brad Billings at the officer leadership training. He was at which one was that, Dennis? The one where he was serving those beans and stuff.
Oh, that was Corpus.
Yeah, Corpus. Yeah. Uh,
Yeah, there were three volunteers at that one, and they all came from my lodge. And then the Grand Master helped them serve,
yeah.
and
I mean, the
yeah, it
Grandmaster
was pretty
serving
cool.
beans. That's servant leadership right there. That's putting your ego checking your ego, taking off the gold collar, right, hanging it up, and serving beans. Meeting on the
Well,
level.
that's what he had discussed when on our first briefing. He said if you're going to a dinner or anything else, you should be the ones going around picking up people's plates. Now I do that anyways a lot of times for our older brothers anyways.
Hmm.
Um, but he made it very clear that it's about service and not about us.
Yeah. And
We
look what
we
a,
just
what a
had fun as
successful
we
year it
went.
was.
Mm-hmm.
Despite what the contrary, it was a great year, the best
Yep.
year. Um, Caleb Bet says check your ego at the door. Absolutely, I agree. Rada Artist is here. He says, "Hey brothers." Johnny Jarvis, I missed Grand Lodge this year, but I watched it and it was wild. It was most of it was pretty tame, but I think
Until the installation.
well the
No,
conversation the
actually
conversation
it was
for the entire time was we already knew it was coming, so we were all just
right,
kind of waiting for the shoe to drop, right?
and
Like
that makes me upset too.
what shoes?
No, that that all of the Grand West knew what was going on in the hallways before it even came close to time to be voting on anybody or anything. Talk about politicking.
Yeah,
That's exactly what that was politicking, and it was just rampant throughout the Grand Lodge Memorial Building. It was you couldn't be 5 foot from any one person that was talking about what was going to happen,
yep, yep.
and that's just a shame.
So the question is, I'm just gonna call you Jr. Man because I don't know how you pronounce JXARX. I'm sorry, but he says I'm 33 years old, and he asked earlier about like what things criteria you should look for about joining the fraternity. He says I'm 33 years old. If you could begin again, what age would you join? I joined when I was like 22, 21. I think I was probably around 22. No, 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 no. What? Yeah, I was 22. And right. Anyway, it was in that ballpark. I joined as soon as I got back from the military.
So that was last year.
Yeah, I would say, man, man, you can't join much younger than that at the time because the minimum age in Texas at that time was 21. So, what age would I join if I had to do it over? I mean, I'd join right now if I had to. That just being
I
me.
I Yeah, I'm happy with when I joined. I was 39 when I joined,
Wow.
and I'm glad I did because I was at a point I had enough life experience to really appreciate what I was going through. And I had enough understanding at that point. When it's hard to I don't want to make anybody feel bad, Justin, but it's hard for me to think that anybody that young is really mature enough to understand what they're becoming a part of.
What age? What
But
age you talking about?
your baby age,
Right now, I'm 39, dude.
no, no. When you join,
I
a
don't
lot of
disagree.
times when you
I
have
don't disagree. I had no clue
a
what I was
lot
getting
of
into.
yeah,
I
and a
didn't
lot of
get
times,
I didn't get serious about it until I was like 28, 29.
right, exactly. And so that's why I was glad I waited. Now, of course, I would have rather done it at 28 or 29, but I was building businesses at the time and couldn't do it. Didn't have the time. But
It goes back to what Sean was talking about. Like to learn Kabbalah as a Jew, you have to wait till you're 40. Why? Well,
right,
because they're wasting time on you if you're 21. You're too young and too
yeah,
dumb.
you also have to be a father.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
it's just
so you have to have those life experiences. Yeah.
yeah. I don't disagree. Jason Rockenberg says Dennis must be having internet issues because he looks terrible. That's just his face, man. You know what that looks like. Uh, Dan Best says, I
Why
wanted.
don't you go play with your dogs?
I just want to thank the both of you again for all the help. I talked to a few Masons. Uh,
Yeah, damn this.
I'm not sure what you're saying there. You seem very interested in Les YouTube page. Hopefully they'll become new members. I'm not sure what you said at the end there, but we're happy to help. That's what we're here for. Austin White
Yeah,
says,
absolutely.
"Evening all, welcome Austin, brother White. Good to see you." Just
Glad to
Rockenberg.
see you, brother.
I actually wish I had joined much younger. I think there are things I have learned that could have helped me in my younger years. Yeah, honestly, like we were just we talk about waiting till we're older because we're probably not ready. But I don't know what kind of guy I would have ended up today if I didn't join when I did either. So
Right.
it's kind of one of those things. That was I too young and too immature to really appreciate everything that was being taught? Yes, absolutely, absolutely, I was. But when I was ready to start applying it, did I already have that background? I did. And
Right.
so it's one of those things. Like, do you wait till they're older? I think really what it comes down to is you interview the guy and take it seriously. And is this guy mature for his age? Does he is he going to college or
Yeah.
is
Will he
he
have time for
working?
it?
Yeah, like does he have time for it? Is he going to take it seriously? And
We've had a
you
yeah.
can't do like a
Go ahead.
one size fits all thing. Like, oh, is he old enough? Okay, well let's just stamp it and get him in. Yeah, actually look at the guy and say, does he have time? Is he mature enough to actually apply what's being taught to him, or is the lodge coming together and practicing and trying to do their best to put on an excellent degree a waste of time for this guy at this point?
You know, yeah, exactly. And but looking or not, but I was just gonna say, looking at one of the Freemason documentaries that they did, that big one that they did over in England.
Mm-hmm.
Um, on that
You talking
one,
about the Netflix one,
yes, yes.
Inside the Freemasons or whatever?
So yeah, so in that one, it showed a one of the college lodges, and the guy when this new young student comes in to because he's interested in Freemasonry, they go through it with him. They say, look, it's going to cost you this much every year. It's going to cost you this much just to jump in.
Mm-hmm.
And are you sure that going to school and what you're doing, you're going to be able to afford to do that? And are you going to be able to be available to contribute? That's the thing. And in Mexico they have that before you do your degree.
Yeah.
You sign a piece of paper that says you're in it to win it. Period.
I think it's so important, and we don't do this. We're so eager to get this guy in. Like we're happy to show him around the building and everything, and tell him like how great we are, but we don't see the forest for the trees, right? We don't sit them down and say, look, there is a lot of memory work associated with this, and it'll be very time consuming. And if you've joined,
Right.
you need to expect for about a year coming here at least once a week and memorizing things.
Yes.
And there is a lot to
Yes.
it. And it costs like $400 at my lodge to get all your degrees right now, right? And so say, by the time you finish all your degrees, it costs about $400 in initiation fees. And it's $200 a year to pay your dues, right? And you have
Right.
options. You can like pay it out monthly or whatever. But it costs lay out the cost and lay out the expectations right up front. If it runs them off, it runs them off. Because it's better that they get run off now than you go through all the process and they're in and they realize they didn't know what they were getting into. It's dishonest to not let
Right.
them know what they're getting into beforehand. Jason Rockenberg,
Well, that's go ahead.
Now, should a guy join young, 18 to 25, and immediately start running through the offices? Absolutely not. And unfortunately, I see that happening here in Texas. I don't have an issue personally if you start like with like a steward or something. Like put them in as steward, and don't put everyone in office just for the sake of putting them in office, right? If you have a new guy and you have an opening as steward, then put him as steward. Sure. If you got 3 or 4 new guys, then put the most promising one in as steward. And when the opportunity arises, the next guy. So let me be clear about what I'm saying. I don't like the progressive line, the way we do it, right? I think progressing someone over time has a purpose, but if you're not intentional about that progressive line, it bites you in the butt. And what I mean is, analyze. Hey, is this guy doing his job? Is he doing a good job? Is he suitable for leadership? If so, when the opportunity comes, go ahead and advance them. But because I think the lessons you learn about the lodge and Masonic leadership in general, and just being a leader in general, those lessons are valuable and you're gradually taught them over time as you progress. But don't put people in the line and just, forget about it. And 7 years later, you have a terrible martial master that's tearing your lodge apart.
Right. Right. If something happens to that lodge with that brother, it's the lodge's fault, in my opinion, because they never should have elected him to that position. And we've actually, skipped people in a couple of different lodges in my district, and they stopped coming.
Yeah.
But that just tells you right there that they might not have been in it for the right reasons.
Yeah. It was also pointed out, let's see where that is. Austin White points out, was it Austin? I lost it. Keep people responding. Oh, be sure their wives are okay. Yeah, man. If they got a girlfriend or a wife, then you need to be absolutely sure that they're okay with it. Absolutely sure. And that's why I recommend, like, if you can go to their house and meet their wife, do it. Because he may say, oh, she's fine with it, right? But then you're sitting down and she's showing concern, then that needs to be addressed. Because it doesn't matter if he goes all the way through the degrees. If she starts having an issue with it, then he's done, man. He's done. He's not going to go against his wife. He's done.
Right.
Austin White also is about to retire from the Army. Congratulations, man.
Nice. Congratulations.
37 and about to retire. Man. So I was in the Air Force, and I've often wondered, like, man, if I had just stayed in, I could be retiring pretty soon. But whatever. It's also a mentorship failure. It is. It's a mentorship failure, absolutely. And that's something.
Yeah, and it all boils down to the lodge.
Oh yeah.
The lodge isn't creating a mentor program. They're not utilizing the tools that Grand Lodge has provided to actively, intentionally create mentorship opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's definitely the lodge's fault if that happens.
So it's the first question I ask a visitor, this is Austin White, are you married? And if yes, does she know what you're wanting to do? Yeah. Because
Yeah,
here's the thing:
that's a big.
most guys that are coming in don't know what they're wanting to do, right? They want to join the fraternity, right? But they don't understand, like what I was explaining before. They don't understand the time commitments. They don't understand the financial commitments, right? They just know that they want to be a Mason. They don't know what that entails. So if he doesn't know, the wife sure doesn't know. That's why it's important you meet with both of them and talk about that. Because
Right.
even if he says that's fine, if you sit down with the wife and say, look, he's going to be at our lodge or hanging out with us at least once a week for a few hours. And
Right.
if you can't part with him for that amount of time, well, first of all, you got other problems. But if you can't part with him for that amount of time, he's not. There's no point in him doing it. And if $400 for the initiation fees or whatever you charge, and if X amount a year is an issue financially, he doesn't need to join either.
Right.
Or if he's about to have, and this is gonna sound terrible, if he's about to have a kid, maybe wait, man, just wait,
Right.
because
Right.
no one knows, no one understands how your life changes once you start bringing kids into the picture. And so
Yeah.
just wait a year, wait a year or two, and come back. We'll see how it goes then. So many lodges. This is Austin White. So many lodges see someone petitioning as like chum in the water. Unfortunately,
Oh,
the new guys feel overwhelmed. Absolutely, man. They see a new guy possibly with a petition, and they get so excited that they totally forget about any kind of protocol. Like I was
Yeah.
saying, like with all the stuff we were talking about, they're like, oh, let me show you around. Let me introduce you to everybody. Yada yada yada. We're so great. We're so great. Look at these past masters. You don't talk about the basics because you're so focused on trying to talk your organization up to get them to turn in that petition that you don't. That's why I think it's important that regardless of how excited you are, you say, hey, we're gonna wait at least 6 months before he gets a petition.
Yeah.
That way you force yourself to pump the brakes because you're excited, but you know that he's not getting that petition for at least 6 months, regardless.
Right.
Devin
Well,
McClain.
and I'm a fan of before you do that. I'm a fan of doing investigations at the house
Mm-hmm.
and going to their home and I'm talking calling them 2 hours ahead of time and saying we're on our way,
Yeah.
or maybe even not even calling. Find out, just go straight there and knock on the door and say, we're here to talk to you about what you're fixing to go through if you end up going through it.
Yep. I mean, that's how they used to do it.
That's how they did it with me.
Yeah.
I had talk about intimidating. I had a judge, an attorney, and I think he was a police officer or something. And no, yes, those three came to my house and talked to me, and I'm squirming in my seat, man. I've got people that can put you there and keep you there if you say the wrong thing.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about in jail, but that's that made an impression on me.
Yeah.
And my family sat down with me during the process, and it made an impression on me.
If you have a sibling, and those of you that are watching, like if you don't have a sibling, that this might not. I mean, you'll never experience this, but if you have a sibling, or even like a close family, like cousins or something, that you all grew up together, you can go to the house at any time, knock on the door, and come in. Right? You don't have to give them an advance notice or anything like that. When someone comes into the fraternity, you start calling them brother.
Right.
There's a reason for that. It's a significance to it because they are now family. They're now your family. Right? Your Masonic family, sure, but it's your family. You're calling them brother. And so if you can't come to their house when they're petitioning, what makes you think you can have that same format? You can have that same level when they join. So
right.
I mean, I would give them like a little bit of notice just as a formality, but I think the less notice the better personally because, I mean, if you got underwear hanging off chandeliers and beer bottles everywhere and the place smells like pot, they don't need to join. They're not the kind of people you need in.
Right. Yeah, or have an SS regalia collection.
Yeah.
That's you just never know. And so that's why it's important to do that.
Yeah.
And they talked to my wife as well, and made sure my wife at the time, I should say, that was kind of, I shouldn't have said that, but they talked to her as well, all sitting there at the table, and we went through it all together,
Mm-hmm.
and I it made the right impression on me. I can assure you.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's look at the comments here. I mean, we got pretty good comments going on. Just talking about wives and scary wives and stuff like that. But yeah. Someone said something a minute ago. Let me see here. I think it was Devin McLean. I can't. Oh, I'll be taking baby steps for a long while, but I think it's the best thing for me to do. I'm not sure. Not sure what you're talking
What's
about.
that?
Devin.
Join Freemasonry?
I'm not sure.
Join a fraternity?
I'm not sure what you mean, Devin. Maybe clarify. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, he may have been like me, that every couple of months you're looking at the site and you're thinking, their website, thinking, man, just call.
Yeah.
But it took me a while to talk myself into calling and going up there and trying to do something.
But also, based off everything we're talking about, I'm also warming up more and more to the idea, and I know of at least one lodge that did this for a long time. If you say, look, we want to get $400 out of the degree fees, then what you do is you say, okay, the EA is $400, and then you charge the minimal for the fellowcraft in master. And what you're doing with that is you're front loading the cost, because if they're serious about doing it, they're paying $400 either way, right? Save up your money until you can afford it, and then let us know, and we'll put on your degrees. And that way, if first of all, they're financially committing themselves, right? They've already paid the money. They might as well, if they're having second thoughts, or if they're not really serious about it, then that will run them off, right? But if they're serious about it, they pay the $400. There's no turning back for them. Like, I'm financially committed. I got to keep moving forward. And even if they do back out, it's no refund, man. You don't get a refund. So at least the lodge is still getting the $400. But I think that
Right.
the upfront cost really, it sets a high barrier, and that barrier separates the wheat from the chaff, right? It's a filter, and people that aren't serious about it, they're like, well, I don't want to pay $400. They'll just back up. But the people that are serious about it, they'll save up, or they'll do whatever they got to do, and they'll get that paid, and then they'll move forward.
Yeah, it wouldn't have. Yeah, whatever it cost, it wouldn't have mattered to me.
Yeah.
And I'm a firm believer of having something like $500 for each degree. We've talked about it before, to where the EA, that immediately, that 500 goes into an endowment to one of your charter members, so that you have that residual coming in for the lodge. The next one, it goes towards the building fund on the fellowcraft degree,
Mm-hmm.
and then the next one goes towards paying for their stuff, and then what's left over goes to charity or whatever.
Yeah.
Or buys the stuff for the next raffle or whatever. That I think that it should be that way.
I'll be honest though. I think if you did something like that, just based off what I've seen the returns being for the endowment program, if you took that $500 every time, instead of going through the endowment process, you started like an investment fund. Even
Right.
if you invested it conservatively, like even if you just bought a CD right now, you're gonna get better returns than you would from the endowment program.
Well,
Just a thought.
and not only that, but get a money market account. I mean, those accounts, they gain more interest as long as you don't withdraw too much throughout each year. You have so many times you can take money out.
Yeah.
And so I think that's in fact, the two lodges I belong to down here have done that.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I'm just saying, I've been to lodges where they had $1 million investment accounts, and there's a reason they're not turning around and just buying endowments, right? For
Right.
for deceased brothers. Obviously, you don't want to buy it for living members, because you'll lose all your money. But
Right.
there's a reason they're not doing like what you're suggesting. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. To each lodge is their own, but I would think because they probably know they're getting better returns and they have more control over their money that way. Let's see. I see what you're saying, Justin. That large of a number is going to make them open their eyes real fast. Yeah, yeah. It's going to make them open their eyes. And it's going to make them really decide, put them on point if they're going to commit to it or not.
Yeah, not only that, but after they've put that much money into it, they're more likely to actually follow through.
Yeah,
because they didn't want to waste that money. And if they waste that money, they'll have to keep that.
Well, that's the whole reason. That's the whole reason behind the lengthy investigation, the lengthy petitioning process, in my mind.
Right.
And what I mean by that is you express an interest. Okay, well, you need to come here every time our doors are open, and eat with us and introduce yourself and talk to people, right?
Right.
Because
right.
anyone can be a nice guy for half an hour, right? But over a period of time, it's harder to hide the ugly, if that makes sense. And so you say for 6 months, at least once a month, you need to come and eat with us. And there's no cost to you unless you just want to make a donation. But your job is to come and introduce yourself and get to know everybody. And after that, if everybody likes him, then he'll get a petition. And so he's dedicated 6 months of his time to coming into the fraternity. So that right there is already going to make it. If he's been diligent, it's going to make it difficult for him to change his mind. Right there.
Right.
But then you say, okay, the degree fees are $400, and you need to pay it up front. Then, if he's gone through 6 months and pays the $400, he's not gonna walk away from the organization, right? He knows what he's getting into at that point, I think.
Right.
Or at least he's.
I agree.
At least he's going to commit to it. I had to take some time from going to the lodge since I've been dealing with close family recovering from car wreck and stroke. I'm sorry to hear that, Devin. Yeah, I've taken some time too. We got some stuff going on my wife's side with her father-in-law, which is, I mean, I've missed both Blue Lodge meetings and my York Right meeting, and we had AMD yesterday at my lodge, and I couldn't go. So that's not like me. I've missed a lot this month, and I went to one EA degree, and that's probably the extent of my Masonic experience this month. So I know what you mean, man. But you gotta put your family and stuff first. Then
but we've also got this though, and that's this.
Yeah, I mean this kind of fills the void.
This fills my cup.
Yeah.
You fill my cup. Justin.
I want to talk about your cup, Dennis. Question: should I be afraid of being blackballed? They told me I shouldn't be getting blackballed, but it's a possibility. It's always a possibility.
Yeah, it's always a possibility.
I mean, don't be afraid of it. Just go and be yourself, and if you get along with everybody, you're probably fine. I wouldn't worry about it.
And a blackball isn't permanent, at least not in Texas.
Yeah.
You know, you can come back after so many years, depending on how many blackballs you have. You can come back and repetition. In fact, that's what one of the candidates that I recommended did. Mm-hmm. And he just kept coming back and helped every way he could. And then it was unanimous. All the people who were concerned before were never concerned again. I mean, they really realized that it was something that happened when he was a child, and so how can they really hold that against him at the age of 55? You know?
Yeah. I want to address something real quick as soon as I can get something working for me. But Austin made a comment. Austin White. Things like this are why I disagree with jurisdictions that do Mason in a day events. The ROI, return of investment, is almost non-existent. So there's an interesting thing, and it keeps being said. I don't know if anyone's actually done the research, but it keeps being said. If you put the retention with a basing in a day Mason compared to a traditionally made Mason, if you compare the retention rates for those Masons, supposedly they're equal. But here's and the reason that this statistic has come about is in defense of these Mason in a day events. But I don't think it's really so much elevating the Mason in a day events as it is showing how crappy the traditional route really is for most lodges. because traditionally, uh, if someone wants to join, I've been in lodges where a stranger walks in off the street and leaves with a signed petition that no one even knew him. And he leaves 5 minutes later with a signed petition, just go home and fill out. So yeah, of course you're gonna have the same retention rate because neither one has any kind of time or financial investment in the fraternity. Yeah, it might take a little bit longer to go through the traditional route. What, like a month usually before you can start? What's the difference between a month and a day to start? And really, most lodges, the memory work, they just kind of rush you through the memory work. So yeah, you could get it. You could petition and say, okay, in 4 months we're going to do Mason in a day. So in 4 months, we'll send you the time and place. Go there and you'll be a master Mason, right? Because they don't do it as needed. They do it like as a big event. So it might be 6 months down
Right.
the road, 7 months down the road. Let's say it's 6 months down the road. Say, okay, 6 months you're going to do this Mason a day event. Just hang tight until then. What's the difference between that and someone going from EA to master in 6 months to traditional route? They had the same time investment. They had the same financial investment. So yeah, of course the retention rate's the same because both processes suck. That's why. That's why I say. I'll be honest with you. That's why I say we gotta focus on having a lengthier process to get these guys in, get them invested, get them committed, make them make time commitment before they get petitioned, make them pay their don't be afraid to have higher dues costs. I mean not dues costs, higher degree fee cost, and just be upfront about it from day one. Say, look, if you're going to start saving money now, because
Yep.
it's $500 to by the time you get all your degrees or whatever. Which even for clarity's sake, I think $500 is too cheap. But you gotta kind of baby step your way up with these kind of things. But just be upfront from day one.
Yeah.
Hey, it costs this much, and you're expected to come visit us for at least 6 months. If you tell them 6 months ahead of time that it's going to be at least 6 months and it's going to cost this much once you get your petition to get your degrees, at least your first degree, if they can't get that money in 6 months, then hey man, this probably isn't for you anyway. You
Right.
got 6 months to collect, let's say $500. You can't collect $500 in 6 months. That's like $75 a paycheck. That's not even $100 a paycheck.
Right.
If you can't do that, then you probably don't need to. You probably don't need to be in here. Just saying.
Right.
Just saying.
Yeah, and you know that's a very important subject right there. Is if they can't afford to be initiated, then it's not that important to them.
Yeah.
People will pay for whatever is important to them. I've seen people with $500 fishing poles that they only use a couple of times a year, but they paid for it. They wanted it. Fly fishing was that important to them. So they ponied up the money with the most expensive company there was and did it. And it's the same way with Freemasonry. If they care about it, they're going to pay for it. Put your money where your mouth is. And
Absolutely.
we've said this before too, that if you want to find out about anybody at any time, what's important to them, look at their checkbook.
Yep. So Catholic Perennialist says the retention rates are identical. Yeah, and I keep hearing that. I haven't seen the statistics, and I'm not saying the statistics are wrong. I'm just saying I've never seen them. Right.
Here's what I would say. Go ahead, finish. I'm sorry.
But no, I would say they may be identical, but that's not really a credit. And I'm not trying to bash any one day Masons because most one day Masons that I've talked to, there's two things that I've noticed with one day Masons I never talked to. First is that they didn't know there was another way to do it. They just assumed it was always done that way. And secondly, most of them were upset that they didn't get to do it the traditional way. Those are the two observations I made. All right, I got a few comments I want to address. So what are you going to say, Dennis?
Let's just move on.
Okay. Also, why it says it's horrendous and those lodges need to do some self-reflection. I assume he's talking about those lodges that people came in off the street and got a petition. And yeah, I agree. It's horrendous, and it's a huge discredit to the fraternity.
I
Uh,
had somebody sharing Facebook responsibilities with me that people would message in and say, I'd like to join Freemasonry. And he'd say, just come on down on this date and get a petition.
mhm.
Are you kidding me? And that's the very beginning of guarding the West Gate,
Well, damn, at
and,
that rate, just send
and
them a link to the petition.
exactly. Don't even mess with it. Just give it to them
Yeah.
and let them do what they want to do with it.
Yep.
But I let me go ahead and make that one statement real quick. I would like to challenge maybe
Oh
the
no.
retention rate is equal, but I don't think the participation rate is equal.
Oh no. But
If they're making 200 Masons in one day, more than likely only 20, maybe 40 in that whole region is going to really contribute to the lodge,
yeah,
in my
it
opinion.
really depends how you.
What we see in the lodge already,
What do you define retention as? That's the thing. Like, do you define retention as people staying active in the lodge, or do you find it as people
just
continuing to pay
paying their
dues?
dues.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Jason
that's just
Rockenberg says Dennis had an absolutely awesome experience at the meeting he went to Friday night, and he's super excited about the rest of the meetings this year. Where'd you
I
go?
sure am.
Where'd you go?
It was a Knights of St. Andrew meeting.
Are you really excited
We
about it, Dennis?
what?
Are you really excited about it?
Well, hell yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's one of my favorite things. The only thing I don't like about it is the fundraising.
Oh, they do a lot
But
of. Yeah.
but that's our job to support, the Scottish Rite. And so we're fundraising specifically for them and for the School of Instruction for Dyslexia that we have.
Dan Best says, I have a question. Isn't there a rule? Uh, I'm sorry, Dan. Like, I can't follow very well sometimes. I have a question. Is there a rule outlets Freemasonry can have somebody to pay their dues, or is it a different price everywhere? Um, it's not always well. So I'm not sure what you're originally asking, but the second part is a different price everywhere. Often, yeah. Like you might have an average. Like the average most lodges charge in Texas is probably like $100. I think it's increasing, but right now it's probably sitting at about
Right.
$100. Um, but every lodge has the right to set their own dues, right? And so that's what they do. I'm not sure what's the first part. I have a question. Isn't there a rule outlets Freemason can have somebody to pay their dues for their dues? So I mean, anyone could, as long as the lodge gets their money, it doesn't really matter who pays for it. You can have a brother help you out, like if you're falling on like a hard time or something. But
Yeah, when my boys join, when they do, um, because I've discouraged it because I want to make sure they have the time and the money.
yeah,
But when they do, that's going to be my gift to them is paying for those dues and paying for the initiations.
you gonna buy
That's going to be
you
my
gonna
gift to them.
are you gonna buy them an endowment?
No, if if they want that, they can buy it.
Oh, okay, got you.
But in fact, since it's my investment in them, I ought to buy them endowments to make
Mm,
sure that they never get kicked out.
yeah,
But but no, that's my plan anyways. That's been my goal that, if once that time comes and they have the time because they're still trying to build up their
yeah.
lives, then I'll be there and I'll be helping.
You know what we should.
I'll help them as much as I can.
You know what we should start doing, and what we should start doing is if you put your name as a bottom line signature on a petition, and that guy never pays like doesn't pay his dues one year, then we should go to those guys and say, hey, this guy that you vouched for didn't pay his dues, and so you three are
Right.
accountable. You three are accountable. Then we start being really careful about who we sign for, right?
That's
Especially
right.
especially if you have lodges that are charging $200+ a year. Man, that's a great
Right.
idea. We should yeah, great idea. Dan Best says $125 at my local lodge, $150 student I've already paid 150. Yeah,
Okay, so he's talking about his initiation fee,
maybe so.
and yeah,
Maybe so. That's good. That's good. You already got paid though.
because I remember that he's fixing to have his degrees done,
Yeah. By the way, we
or
got 12.
his apprentice.
We got 12 viewers right now. If y'all haven't liked the stream yet, if you would please just be sure to hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, shame on you. Please subscribe also. But
Absolutely.
yeah, definitely appreciate all
If you
that.
find value in what we're doing, please support it by doing that. You
Absolutely.
know, we have monetary ways you can, be a member of what we're doing, but the biggest thing is subscription, so that it gets out there to the people.
Yeah. I was mentioning earlier that I'm thinking about Dennis, and these aren't going to be lengthy by any means, but I'm thinking about doing like, and you're welcome to do it. I mean, there's no reason you can't, but I'm going to start doing like a daily short, not like a YouTube short, but like a daily short video for the highest tier that we have, and exclusively for them. And it's just a short, almost like a video diary of what's going on Masonically, like what am I working on, or what's going on this week, or what's going on today, and just finding a way to, it's going to provide more value for those members, I think, but just additional content for those guys. Um, John T, don't you have an allegory about that Jabalo? I'm not sure what you're talking about, Johnny. So sorry, I'm not sure what that is. Jabalo jibber jabber three naughty thingies. No, I'm not sure. Not sure where we're going with that. But yeah, the chat is like 100 or 0. It's like it's really chatty, or it gets really quiet.
Right.
What do you got going on this week, sonically? Speaking of which,
Who, me?
yeah, you.
Tomorrow night I've got, um man, I got to look at my calendar. Tomorrow night I've got York right in back in San Antonio. I've been in San Antonio all weekend.
Mm-hmm.
We came home, and now I've got to go back to San Antonio.
Again, for what?
Yeah, for York right.
Oh, okay. Man, I was really
and
bummed
and
out. I missed
then
my
and
York
then
ride this
Friday,
month.
and we have a floor school on Wednesday that we always have without fail.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the 24th and 25th is the Seguin festival, the chapter council and commandery festival,
Sounds good.
and the grand commander is coming in to do the order of the temple, which is awesome. Anybody who gets to be uh, or be knighted, they get to do it with the grand commander, and not just
Wow, that is cool.
somebody from the lodge. That is cool. Yeah.
Chuck
And
Stone, one of
so
our
we've got
members,
that.
popped in. Back to lodge first time in a
Do
couple
what?
of months. Well, that's exciting, bro. Sorry, one of our members popped in, so I was just addressing what he said real quick.
What did he say?
He said back to lodge first time in a couple of months. I feel like I'll be
Good.
saying that here in a little bit, in a couple of months.
Right. Well, I've been that way myself, after my surgery and everything. I tend to withdraw whenever I'm really in a lot of pain or I'm feeling sick.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want my wife to touch me. I don't want, I don't want to talk. Yeah.
Yeah.
So whenever I'm sick or hurt, you won't see me in lodge.
Yeah. I'll be yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Yeah. Let's see here. So Devin McClain says they're taking long with him because someone around his age was initiated and after went on a crime spree and got the boot. Well, I mean, yeah, unfortunately they learned the hard way that it's more beneficial to take your time and be careful.
Yeah.
Dan
Oh my
Best
goodness.
says I think a lot of people who are having problems typing. I know I got to work tonight, and I apologize. No, no, no. You're it's all good, man. Like my autocorrect messes me up half the time when I'm talking. Also, when I'm chatting, I don't know if you're using your phone or not, but whenever I'm chatting on my phone, if it wasn't for autocorrect, my stuff would definitely be pretty crazy because I got fat fingers. Oops, I didn't mean to hide that. Let's show that. There we go.
My autocorrect isn't very good because I misspelled so many words. It goes to the ones that I have misspelled.
Yeah. All right, we got someone. Chuck, sorry, I didn't mean to hide that. I was going to show it, but let's see. Let's view it. Chuck Stone says your wife tries to touch you. That's pretty crazy. Yeah. What's up
I
with that?
know, right?
So okay, uh, RUND make 555. I have an important question. I just had my EA, and in the lesson of charity, I already had my X restored at time. Your thoughts, is my degree valid? What would you do? Thoughts? I'm not sure. So there's slight differences in jurisdiction, and I'm not sure what you mean when you said you had your X restored at time. Uh, I will tell you, most likely you're good. Whatever happened, they would probably tell you if it wasn't valid. But I've never been to an EA that wasn't valid. Like if it's not valid, you get escorted out and told thanks but no thanks. So
Yep.
yeah. Frost Soul, I got a big question related to members committing some really gruesome crimes. One in particular being cannibalism. Is that really okay? No, it's not. I mean, if you're breaking the law, I mean,
You can't be a Mason if you're breaking the law.
yeah, it can't be a mess. You're breaking the law. Eating people is generally frowned upon in just about every circle. So, no, it's not okay at all, at all. John T says these guys stay low, shoot straight, be nice. Yeah, yeah. Frost Soul tried a lot to bring them back to their logical thinking selves, but they only kept making their mental degeneracy worse by snuffing out lives in the thousands. Yeah, I'm not sure what you're talking about, man. I'm not sure what you're talking about. It sounds like it doesn't sound like masonry. It sounds like some pretty crazy stuff, but definitely not Freemasonry. And
Right.
it's once people start getting crazy, they claim to be part of all kinds of things, but that's not something we stick to green beans usually. We don't eat a whole lot of people. Let's see. Dan Best, when I went to supper at the lodge last week, when I was leaving, I did have a temper, a little overdressed. I thought that was funny. Yeah, you can't be overdressed, but you can be underdressed. Jesse Rockenberg says cannibalism isn't okay. You can't have any fun. No, no. Um, yeah, we keep it at green beans and pancakes.
Look, guys, just remember, Jack in the Box got in trouble for using horse meat in their hamburgers years ago. So if they can't use horse meat for their hamburgers, what makes you think it's okay to eat people?
Yeah. Rund says it looks like overlooked, but I already have my wallet and other things. Okay, I know what you mean now. I know. So you went to the degree and maybe had some things that they didn't take off you. No, you're fine, man. It's fine. It happens sometimes. It happens sometimes.
I've actually done that before by accident. I was a master of ceremonies, and I completely screwed up. I did the wrong side and everything.
Oh my gosh, Dennis.
I know I completely, and that was right before I became DDGM. I was so embarrassed.
Man. Yeah, gosh. I hope this was before you came on Masonic Improvement.
No, it was after. I
Oh
blamed
my
you.
god. Let's look here. They figured out the perfect meals to give people the runs. Yeah, yeah. I've had some questionable. I went to one lodge. They had jalapenos with peanut butter. Have you ever had that before, Dennis?
No, I'll give you my bitter beer face.
it actually
That's,
it actually was better than you would think, but it was like one of those things that's kind of
no, it's not better than I think.
peanut butter and
There's no
jalapeno.
way it's better than
No, it's
hell
not. It's
no.
not bad. It's not bad. I just never had it
Yeah.
before. Don't hate it till you try it, man. Yeah,
Down in South Texas, we do Mexican food a little different.
yeah. Frost says it's cult stuff. Yeah, it sounded culty, but
What?
definitely.
What?
Oh, the whole cannibalism thing and all that. But yeah, we don't
Oh
we
yeah.
don't roll that way, man. We don't roll that way. And
I don't.
and I said this earlier, but there's a lot of organizations. Like I could go tomorrow and start my own Masonic organization and say it's Masonic, and most people would have no idea that it's not, right? No people, they have no idea that it's some clandestine thing that I just threw together, right? And so my point is like a lot of people that don't know better, especially in like bigger cities and maybe other countries, they want to become Freemasons and they see what looks like a Masonic lodge, but they have no idea, they have no way of really knowing that, hey, this is not really a Masonic lodge. And the
Right.
things that they do in there, or the things that they permit, the things they tolerate, are nothing like real Freemasonry. Uh,
Well, I know people in some other organizations that are not attached to Freemasonry. A lot of Freemasons are in those organizations, but it's not attached, and none of them
yeah.
uh, do anything like that. That's just unheard of.
Well, I mean, you don't see fake Lions clubs, you don't see fake elk lodges, fake Rotary or anything like that. So why would there be fake Masonic lodges? Well, because Freemasonry is what it is. It's not like the others, and it has a certain amount of respect, prestige associated with it. So if you want to make your own little, and usually these organizations are they're basically like pyramid schemes, and yeah, if you want to make it sound like it's legitimate and prestigious, and give yourself a little credibility off the bat, then you call yourself a Masonic lodge, or what's really popular online is just say you're with the Illuminati, but it's not really the
Oh yeah,
Illuminati. It's not really Masonic. It's just some people saying it, and so you get
yeah,
people. Not saying any of y'all, but you get people coming here sometimes and they talk about, well, I knew a Freemason and he did this and this and this, and it's like he probably wasn't really a Freemason.
right.
Yeah.
And and just so that you guys know out there, if you get anything that says Illuminati, they are not the Illuminati. I
Oh
can
yeah,
promise you
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I
You mean that Rothschild guy that wants to be my friend isn't really one of the Rothschilds?
No, look at the rest of his friends. Bunch of hoochie mamas.
Yeah, yeah,
That's and I'm just telling all you guys, well, if you try to friend me, the first thing I'm going to do is look at your profile and look at all your pictures to see what kind of a person you are. And I'm
yeah,
also going to look and see if you just share other people's stuff or if you actually have thoughts on your own.
yeah,
Because that's something that bothers me is if somebody only shares other people's stuff and has no thoughts on their own when it comes to stuff like Freemasonry or talking about certain things that are good for the community or whatever. But yeah,
yeah,
if
yeah.
they start off with Rothschild, yeah,
I'm pretty. This is on Instagram. Instagram's a little more Wild West, but like on Facebook, I'm pretty diligent. Like first of all, you can't even see my profile or anything unless you're a friend. But yeah, I got a lot of Mason friends, but it's pretty obvious they're real Masons because they got like 200 mutual friends. So it's like, yeah, they're probably Mason, even if I hadn't met them. But
right,
if I have no mutual friends and I don't know who you are, yeah, I'm pretty rigorous about who it is before I let them in. I actually have a kind of the waiting list of people that they asked to be my friends, and I just kind of
right,
left it there. It's like, maybe one day if I found out who they are or something.
yeah, and also with those friends, the friends of this person, even if they're mutual, I look and see who it is exactly because there's some people that I wouldn't
Yeah,
click on because I know that they're not so diligent.
yeah. I still haven't let Dennis Yates be my friend yet.
And at
So
this point, he doesn't want to.
he's on the
He
waiting
does.
list. I've been debating joining Freemasonry, but mostly for self improvement. Would you say it's a good organization for self improvement to join? It can be.
Absolutely.
It can be.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is if you get to the point where you make the decision that you want to join, find local lodges and visit them first, right? And decide which one is going to fulfill the need that you're looking for. Because there's a lot of Masonic lodges that all they care about is like fundraising and crap, and you're not going to get self improvement out of that. But if you find the right one and they're there, and they're getting to be more and more common, where it's the right group of guys, and they're holding one another accountable and challenging each other to become better men. It's there. It's a thing.
Right.
Brian Parker says that can't friend anyone is maxed at 5K. Is it really? Did they really max how many friends you can have?
Yeah, they have.
Oh, I didn't know that. 5K. Now I'm curious how close I am to that.
I know. Now he's gonna start asking for food.
Yeah, I don't think I'm anywhere near that. I'm gonna pull it up real quick though
I very rarely ask somebody to be a friend. I'm usually
like if I start a new job or if I join a new organization or something, then I'll look for the people I know I work with and add them. But yeah, it's very rare. Like I don't add a lot of new people. Let's see how many friends I got. Oh, it doesn't say. Oh, I got 1,000 friends. I'm good. I got.
Where did you find that?
If you tap, hold on. If you go to your profile and go to friends, actually, if you just go to your profile, right under your name, it says how many friends you got. I only got 1,000 friends. What a loser, man! Only got 1,000 friends. I can't believe it. Let's look here. But I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
I have
14. I got
19.
21. Are you for real right now? These 7, 14, 21, 28. I got almost 40 friend requests just sitting there. More than 40. Oh my god.
Well, I usually have over 20.
Well, a lot of these are people, like a few of them, like I just saw one where I know this guy's already my friend. He's a boomer. I know he's already my friend. He got hacked is what it is. I got a fake friend request.
Yeah, I get those sometimes, and I always let people know when I get those.
He usually sends them out.
But yeah, I've got 1,982 friends.
1,900. Wow, it's not a competition, Dennis. Gosh, get your crap together, man.
Don't be hating.
I ain't hating.
Jealous?
I ain't hating. I'm just skating, boy.
That's okay. None of them pay attention to me anymore, anyways.
Oh, I don't really post anything anymore. I used to post all the time, but I don't really post. I need to get back into the habit. I was making like daily posts, and I just don't really anymore.
Yeah, you haven't had to because I've been doing it.
No, I mean on my personal stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't really miss it. I only post personal stuff every once in a while. I don't know. I just don't like living through Facebook.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like talking to people on different topics, in Freemasonry, but not.
Yeah. All right, Adam Olivier, howdy. Hope you are doing well, Dennis.
Hey, Adam, how are you?
Adam says he'll be your friend. Adam, I messaged you the other day.
I think you already are.
You didn't respond to my message, so I assume you don't want me to come talk at your lodge now because you didn't like my list of things I could talk about. I don't know. I haven't heard back from him. Let's see. Rund says they gave me back my jacket before. Hold on. I'm getting mixed up with people here. Rund was talking about. Oh, okay. He's talking about it. I gave them back. They gave me back my jacket before. I don't want to raise it with them because it was their mistake, but it's really bothering me. I assure you that you're okay, Rund. I wouldn't worry about it. I mean, for one, we don't redo degrees, right? And if it was a mistake, they would. I mean, you could point it out to them, but they'd just probably laugh it off.
Really, we all make mistakes, but when you're going through it, you didn't know there's mistakes.
Yeah.
If you did, then you were already looking into stuff that you shouldn't have been looking into. But they at every degree I've ever seen or been to, there's always been one or two words that were left out or whatever.
Hmm.
And as long as you keep going with the flow, and it still remains a good degree, and it'll be the best degree that they've ever had.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I wouldn't sweat the small stuff after the fact.
It said I distance from social media because it's fake to me. In person is best. Yeah. Here's how I look at social media. Your social media is basically your advertising. And social media
Yeah,
is how
that's
you
marketing.
advertise yourself. It's how you market yourself. So when I was doing financial planning, I posted every day because I was marketing myself. I was selling myself to people. And
Right.
ideally, if we're being honest, I should be posting something Masonic Pyramid at least once a day. But that's it's not about making friends. It's about because really when you're adding someone to your Facebook, it's not so you can talk or really be the friend. It's so they can see your crap and you can see theirs. So yeah, I mean
Right.
it's easy to get distracted, but you gotta understand that everybody's putting their best stuff out. No one's putting their shitty pictures out on Facebook. Sorry, excuse my language, but no one's putting their worst stuff out there on Facebook. It's only the best. It's front facing, right? And
Right.
so you
It's
can't.
all a facade.
Yeah. So you can't look at it and be like compare your life to other people's because they're just posting their best stuff too. They're not posting their arguments, and well, most people aren't. But they're not posting their worst crap. You're only seeing the good stuff. And if you do
You
have
haven't
people
read
on
my.
Facebook that sharing their worst crap, they probably shouldn't be your friends anyway. You get that toxicity out of your life right away. So it's my point is I don't pay too much attention to that because they're doing the same crap that you're doing. You're just posting your best stuff, your best foot forward, trying to make a good impression, and that's all they're doing too. It's all marketing, exactly. Yeah,
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 it's marketing.
yeah,
But I try to put stuff out there that makes people think.
yeah.
Even if they disagree with me, I put something out there so that they will have to think about it, and they feel compelled to have to respond.
You've been doing that a lot lately,
Yep.
for better or worse.
Yeah, you like that one that I just did yesterday
Yeah. For sure. Oh, I didn't see the one yesterday. It doesn't notify me when you post things, so
with
often I don't see it till after the fact. For,
with intoxicating liquors.
was that you? Oh, with the oh yeah. How dare you?
I know that
Someone
was a
else
tough one.
someone else posted something. I can't remember it was who it was. But it was with like scotch and a cigar. It's like
Yes.
you rebel scum.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, for sure, and you drew me here, so you're doing a good job. I've been a lurker for 6 months or so, and now you guys definitely draw me to this brotherhood, the more watch of things, guys. Well, thank you for that. First of all, I appreciate you
Thank you.
hopping on here with us tonight, and second of all, I appreciate you sharing that with us. But that's what it's all about. I mean, it's there's
Yeah.
a lot of misinfo out there, right? And there's a lot of, if not misinfo, just kind of ambiguity out there. And so that's what these lives partially are here to kind of dispel, to explain like how the process really is and what things really look like. Because first of
Right.
all, you got the misinfo, we got the people that think we're evil, which is obviously wrong. But then you also have the people that they don't think we're evil, but they think you have to have, like, and Brother Fluff was talking about this in his first podcast. Like you think you have to have like a bloodline or it's invitation only or something like that, which of
Right.
course is also not true. And so we're here to dispel all of it.
Well, actually, it is kind of invitation only. You have to ask,
Hmm.
but the lodge has to decide if they're going to give you a petition.
Yeah,
So they're the ones. Once you get that petition, that's your invitation.
yeah,
So it really is an invitation only.
yeah, yeah. And you guys keep it clear to me, and I'm all about self improvement. So we're actually going to focus a lot on self improvement moving forward, because self improvement is Masonic improvement, right? If you're improving yourself as a
Right.
man, you're improving yourself as a Mason, and you could say improve yourself as a Mason means learning the work and all that. Which no, I don't think so because you can memorize all the catechism and all the degree work and opening and closing and everything, and you're not necessarily becoming a better man. You're just memorizing things.
Right.
But if you are improving as a man, you're definitely improving as a Mason. Oh, and he not I'm gonna butcher your name, Noctin, but he became a supporter. Definitely appreciate that, sir. Thank you very much,
Thank you.
a whole lot. But yeah, so we're gonna do a whole lot more. In fact, the last episode that Dennis and I recorded, and I was talking about this a little bit ago, is it's about leadership, and of course it's going to come from a Masonic perspective, but it applies to everybody, man and woman.
Well, there is some secular kind of stuff in there also,
Yeah,
and that's what our summit's going to be about. Also, it's a day of education to inspire brothers to improve
yeah,
and not only improve themselves, but have expectations for those around them to improve.
yeah,
Because that's how we're going to fix all this is by being those kind of brothers.
absolutely. I think it's what you. This is him again. I think it's what you get out of it. I think it's what you get out of it is what matters. From what I gathered, you said it right. You're welcome and thank you for your insight and time. You haven't seen the last of me. Well, I certainly hope not. I hope you come around more often. Definitely appreciate your questions and your feedback today. Definitely appreciate you becoming a
Absolutely.
member as well. That means a lot. Definitely appreciate the support.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, but yeah, it's what you get out of it, and it goes both ways, right? Like this kind of stuff we're talking about, the self improvement, the the things that Freemasonry can offer, it doesn't come out of a void, right? That means someone has to be putting these ideas into the organization for it to take hold and manifest and to spread, right? And so that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to put the work in, put the ideas in, so that hopefully this will manifest broader. Because not every Masonic education has to be like this huge elaborate. Let's talk about the checker payment for 2 hours kind of thing, which I would love
Right.
something like that. That's fine, but it doesn't have to be. It could be as simple as, hey, these are 5 things that we can all work on right now as men to improve ourselves, or something like that. And first of all, this will be a lot more applicable because not everybody in the Masonic Lodge is going to be interested in the checker payment, right? But they are all men, right? So it does apply to all of them. Right, Dennis? Are
Yep.
you there?
Yep. I'm here.
You're being awfully quiet. It makes me nervous.
I know.
That's all you can say. Okay.
I was just messing with you.
Yeah. So we're
I
talking about the stuff we got Masonically coming up. I don't got anything, man. I got this. So I'm off. I'm off tomorrow. My wife's taking her father-in-law in for surgery tomorrow. So my kids are going to school, but I'm off for President's Day, and so I'm gonna stay home with my youngest. And then I got work. I got work this month, the rest of the month. That's it, man. I don't have any. I don't have any lodge stuff. By the way, Dennis, is the Masonic Restoration Foundation on your radar? There's a symposium coming up.
Yes. Yes.
Are you planning on going
I
to
got
that?
yes, I do want to. I'm gonna try to.
When is that? Do you know
Do
when
what?
that? Do you know when that is?
I'd have to look it up again.
I've seen the stuff about it, and Kohenki. I think it's Kohenki sent me a link, and I agree. It'd be good to go to. It'd be great to go to, man. It's in Arizona, isn't it?
Yes, I
I
think
just
so.
I just don't know with everything going on, unfortunately. But I would love to go. If you go, you can report back. I think that'd be good. Uh, Nocten says, let's see, beautiful but work together. It's different but work together. It's beautiful and I hope to be a part one day. I also hate politics and religion, but love working together though. I I have like I'm religious, right? But I'm not a huge fan of organized religion anymore. And uh, politics, I don't know, man. I'm involved locally in some stuff, but like, I don't know. Really, I'll tell you what my issue is politics is all this crap that went on in January because it was all politics, and it just killed my interest in politics at this time. Just
Right.
in general, because that was politics, and it was ugly politics. And so I try to avoid those topics also. Like we talk a little bit religion sometimes on the show. I know you
I ain't
don't.
scared.
I know you don't. But
The other day, I really pissed some people off. I think I said I made a post that said, "Can you really call yourself non-denominational if all you teach is Christianity?"
Oh, I saw that. Where'd you post that at? Was it on Masonic Improvement?
Probably. I
Quit
probably
upsetting
did
all of our followers.
No, I think I did that one just Texas Freemason.
Maybe it was, but yeah, gotta hold each other accountable.
Yeah, do what?
So we gotta hold each other accountable.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and we in Texas especially, we're dang near every member in Texas is a Christian and goes to church and all that kind of stuff. So that's the natural feeling, is that's the only words they need, right? Mm-hmm. That's the only book that they'll ever need. And while it does have great lessons, and you become an awesome person if you can, implement those lessons.
Yeah.
But they're not the only lessons. Well, in fact,
I remember a few years ago, I posted, it was on Texas Freemasons, and I made a post. Hey, I was like, hey, aside from your volume of Sacred Law, what do you think the most important book is in Freemasonry? And I kept getting all these comments like, Holy Bible's the only book you need. What is what? And I didn't say, I think I abbreviated maybe VSL. And they're like, what's a VSL? What's a volume of Sacred Law? I don't know what that is. So, but yeah, I get where you're coming from for sure.
I love it when people say, everything you need to know is in that monitor. No, it's not. No. It's the basics to try to get you to start thinking.
No. But yeah, politics and religion, I agree, they are polarizing. And I also miss having civil conversations. So I remember there was a time when it didn't, not necessarily religiously, but politically, it didn't feel like everyone. Granted, the two main parties have always been kind of pretty opposed to each other, but now it feels like everybody has a side, right? And,
yeah.
And God forbid, God forbid you disagree. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a line drawn, and you have to be on one side or the other, or you're just not a good person.
Yeah.
You're the scum of the earth, which I've been called worse.
Yeah. and there was a comment, it's like Judeo-Christian values are good bedrock. So I feel for them. And yeah, absolutely. Like even if you don't agree with the religious organization aspect of it, yeah, it's a good bedrock. Like if everybody followed the Ten Commandments,
there's good lessons.
The world would be a better place. Yeah, like I think every religion can agree on the Ten Commandments, regardless, right?
Right.
Just treat each other the way you want to be treated, basically the golden rule. And so yeah, it's a good foundation for sure.
Yeah, I like to see altars with the Bible on it and the Quran, and then some other books of faith. That's always good.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. It's good. It's good.
I mean, we got
but I only see that in Scottish Rite though.
Oh, we got a brother at my lodge. He's I think he wears the hammer of Odin. I think what is that technically called?
Norse
maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, Norse. My son is that way.
Oh yeah.
My son Preston. Yes, they had a kind of interesting wedding.
Oh
and
yeah.
It was built around this Norse beliefs and stuff. That's okay. I mean,
it's whatever.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of religions out there. Pick your flavor.
Yeah. Let's see. I wish my old church and the Catholic Church were a bit open-minded to the values and not so dogmatic about the scriptures. Yeah. Dogma's an issue. I have a problem with dogma. Devin McLean says people can have civil discussions, but remember, if you could read minds, it'd be a different story. Human nature at its finest. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, but I think the difference is the ability to have the civil conversation despite those thoughts in your head.
We should be able to as Mason.
Yeah,
That's we're and
because I don't think there's a way to change those thoughts in your head. I think what's important is as a man or just as a person in society, the ability to have that filter. And I don't mean just a verbal filter, but also an emotional filter. Because you can have thoughts in your head, but if you don't let them affect you emotionally or affect the words that come out of your mouth, then that makes a huge impact. Like if you look at like Plato's Republic, for example, which is a hard read. I mean, it's hard to digest, but it's about having those Socratic conversations, the debates, right? Where you have you ever read that before, Dennis? Plato's Republic.
yeah,
You
that was
have
a long
the
time ago.
you having these debates, and it reads extremely civil, and it's about questions and based off this and this and this and this kind of thing. But what you don't see, like everyone puts it up on a pedestal, but what you don't see are the thoughts that are going through their heads. You can't see that.
Right.
You can't see the thoughts, and so you put that kind of debate up on a pedestal. But my point is, even if you have that kind of discussion, the people are still having these thoughts. They're still having these. Well, that's stupid, or I don't agree with this, or so on and so forth. They're still having the thoughts. It's just a matter of. It's the same thing as like humans have kind of a very savage nature, right? But what makes us civilized is that we don't act upon that nature, right? We don't go around looting and pillaging and doing all kinds of bad things, right? That's because we're civilized. We don't act on that nature. It's the same. It's the same as being able to debate well. You don't act on the nature or the thoughts in your head. You have a civil conversation regardless of that.
That's why as Freemasons we should be able to talk about, you know, different theology and politics, because we're supposed to be able to look at each other and feel like, this brother has good intentions in his heart. Don't hate him for thinking how he thinks.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to him and decide how you want to feel going forward. I'm not the kind of person that just because I was raised, Baptist, that I'm going to always be Baptist. I'm not that kind of person.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go to the church that fills my. And the bottom line is that we as Freemasons should be able to discuss those differences and commonalities and walk away from that discussion feeling a little bit more enlightened than you started, because you learned something. Even if you don't agree with it, even if you still don't agree with it, you actually learned why some people take that route. It's a learning experience, so we need to be able to have those discussions.
Yeah.
And those are the discussions that I usually have over scotch. Just letting you know.
Devin McLean says, yeah, we are our thoughts. We are not our thoughts. Lots of philosophies speak on this. Brian Parker says a majority of religious people don't know where their beliefs originated, which is sad. And I agree wholeheartedly. And Nocton says, that's why I want to join. I just love how open-minded you guys are. As you were talking, Dennis, I was thinking, you're talking about going to like these different denominations. And I was just thinking, a few years ago, I took a trip to Washington State, which is Washington, right? But we drove by. It was a Buddhist monastery that built out there. And you had like the Buddhists out there.
Those are cool,
doing the stuff. And I was like, man, I would love to be able to just pause and go spend like 5 years. Just take 5 years,
right?
And just go live in a monastery or something, right?
And just 7 years in Tibet.
Just go learn what they have to teach, and maybe I don't know. Life goes so fast, right? Like I'm not talking about like aging. I'm talking about just like on a daily basis. Like information comes and goes so fast. It'd be nice to
Yeah.
just be able to go and just go to somewhere and just say, hey, I'm gonna disconnect from all that for a while and just get back in contact with myself, kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah, I like Buddhism a lot.
Yeah,
The
I agree.
meditation's helped a lot. I never could really meditate, man. I can't get my brain to shut up to meditate. But I tell you what has helped me. I did a lot of yoga, Dennis, when I was especially got out of the Air Force when I'd hurt my neck
Right.
and like I felt all bunched up all the time. And I go to a
Right.
chiropractor, and chiropractor couldn't help or anything. I started doing yoga. Yoga helped me a lot. And so
Wow.
I don't know if you ever did yoga before. Have you done yoga, Dennis?
No, my wife has.
Your wife has. I enjoy
And
it.
she has 4 different mats that she uses.
Oh wow. So I never did like the hardcore yoga. I always did like the back and neck stretches and stuff like that. But
Hmm.
I'll take that back. I've tried the real yoga. That stuff kicks your butt, man. It kicks your butt. But like I
Yeah.
mainly did just like some basic stuff just to kind of help out.
Right.
Yeah, no, yoga's great. Yoga's great.
The downward dog.
Downward dog. Yeah, yeah. Of course, you got to make everything preferred, Dennis. I'll tell you this though, I wouldn't want to do yoga with other people because once you start stretching, and this is just a PSA for all the guys out here that may think about doing yoga sometimes. If you do it in a group as a guy, like if you already fart a lot as it is, when you start stretching and things line up inside, it's just a
Oh,
straight shot, man. You got these things in your body that they don't have to go through all these loops. You start and you don't even know it's coming. You're like laying on your back, stretching your
oh
leg, and
man.
you just let it out, dude. So
That's
I'm just
funny.
saying. Oh, also, Tai Chi is really good. I did Tai Chi in college. I enjoyed that a lot. Tai Chi is very it's very fun. I'll put it that way. It doesn't wear you out like yoga does, but it really makes you focus on the present. So I really enjoy Tai Chi. So if you find that you're a little too flatulent in yoga, then maybe try doing drink some chai tea and do some tai chi, because that will help you.
Yeah, I need to do something. I've gained a lot of weight after having that surgery.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I keep telling myself I'm gonna start walking, but I don't.
Well, yeah. Walking's good. I just don't know if it cuts it. I do a lot of walking.
Right.
It's better than nothing, right? Getting out and moving.
Yep.
Uh, Dan Best says that only happens because everyone gets so relaxed, everything just kind of happened. Well, everyone may be relaxed, but once you get too relaxed, that's when the problem starts. Because everyone else tenses up after that. They take their mats and go somewhere else. Not,
Could
not,
you imagine doing a downward dog and somebody being behind you?
well, that's one of the worst ones. Downward dog. Downward dog. Sean Carter. Hey, Sean. Welcome, welcome. We're just making fart jokes. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah, glad to have you.
we've surpassed the Masonic
Yeah,
improvement. We've
yeah.
run into fart jokes
Yeah.
now.
Nutton says, "You're funny, Justin." Man, I've been trying to tell people that for years. I'm glad someone finally noticed. Appreciate that. Yeah. We're talking
Yeah, I
about
think
we're
you're
talking about yoga and stuff, Sean. That's why we're talking about some unfortunate incidences that can happen if you're not careful. That's all.
yeah, it's great for meditation
Yeah.
and stretching your body, but it's not so great once you're relaxed.
Yeah. You don't want to turn yoga into yogurt. We'll just leave it at that.
Right?
Oh man. But yeah. Anything else on your mind, Dennis? It's getting a little late.
um, yes, there is. Brothers, we're going to have the actual uh, event. I think it's called Eventbrite.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Or
Options to purchase tickets
did you look into
for
it?
the Masonic Summit, and we're going to have that here in the next week or two. If Justin doesn't hurry up with some graphics, I'll do it myself on Photoshop, and we'll get this done.
Oh, we're ready for graphics? Okay. You said
Well,
you
I've
were doing it,
already
so I was just backing off to let you do it. The graphics. Did you look at the graphics I posted on Facebook?
no. Why would I do
When we first announced, I
that?
look at that and tell me what you want me to add to it, and I'll add to it, and then and we'll go from there. Let me pull it up, and I'll send everybody the link to that, because I made a graphic to announce the event when we first started promoting it, and let's see. Keep talking.
Well, I was looking also for that. I've posted so many times that.
Yeah, I see that. No, I'm kidding. It's been a while. Where is it now?
I know. I'm looking forward to it.
There's Sean Rothberg. Where is it?
Are you talking about the YouTube?
No. I know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I'm not talking crazy stuff here. All right, there's the First 3 Knot podcast. It might be under events, but I thought I shared it. What is that? That's alive. There it is. Here. I'll send you the link to the event.
Okay.
Let me do this.
Yeah, and while he's doing that, if you go to Facebook and find the post that I did with all the pictures,
all right, here I'm sitting.
You'll see what all is intact in as.
Yeah, I sent Dennis in the chat, and I'll post it here in the chat on YouTube for everybody. But no, I made a little graphic for the event, and if you just tell me what you want me to add to it, man, I'll make it look better. But there's a link to the event if anyone's interested. Dan Best says, I'm trying to help my neighbor get back in shape. He's asked me if I would walk, and I asked why he didn't just walk in my neighborhood. He wants to walk with him, so one of us has a gun. Yeah. He says, my neighbor is anti-gun, but they like the fact that I carry a gun. Well, then they're not anti-gun. They just don't want to carry a gun. if they like you having a gun, they're not necessarily anti-gun. They just don't want to. Whatever.
They just don't want to be the one pull the trigger.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, honestly, like I don't like carrying. I mean, I'm not anti-gun, but I don't like carrying a gun, just because I
don't think I need to.
No, I'm just clumsy as it is, and so I'll be honest. There's a few times I probably blew my leg off if I didn't have the safety on. Just being,
right.
You know, so we didn't deal with guns much in the Air Force, so I didn't get a lot of gun experience. Let's see. Brian Parker says, physical activity like yoga is good. Mind and soul must be exercised also for the great work. Yes, it is good. It is good. And I think different exercises are better for different people. I know some guys, they'll go out and run. Like I have a coworker, he runs like 2 miles every day before work. And that's not me, man. I'm not a morning guy. I'm not waking up before the sun gets up and go run. But I don't mind spending a few minutes in my office or something doing a little yoga, because you can do yoga anytime, right? But running, that's a whole different story. Noctin lives in Philly. He needs a gun. Yeah. When he lived in Cali, he didn't need one. See, I live in the country here in Texas. I don't really need one. I mean, I'm not saying if I do or don't have one, but I don't really feel like I need one most of the time. But if I'm going on like a trip, say like I'm going to like South Texas where it's kind of ghetto, especially like Goliad or something, I make sure I'm prepared. I make sure to be prepared where I can keep myself safe. Dennis, did you see that link I sent you?
You don't want to. Yeah, I saw it.
You see the event?
Yeah, it looks good.
Okay. I mean, we can roll with that if you want to use that. I assume that you're going to use something like that, or maybe just add to it. That's why I haven't done anything else. But if you tell me,
I'll. Well, what we'll do is later on we'll start posting the pictures of our speakers.
Yeah, and we do like Masonic where they did like.
Yeah.
But then again, I think our speakers are a big selling point, right? So I don't want to. I like what they did. So I like what Masonic Con did, because they kind of released a little bit, like once a week or something like that.
Right.
But the catch is you're also getting closer to your deadline at that point when you're doing that. All right. And so
Right.
if you're gonna do one speaker at a time, you kind of want to save your keynote or your best speaker for last. That's going to attract the most
Right.
people. Well, then you're too close to the deadline. So
Right.
we'll figure it out. I know we're still ironing
I
out
would.
some of the speakers. I think we should just do them all at once. Just say, hey, these are our speakers.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we'll see. I'm sure there's advantage to either way.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. But yeah, that is coming up, by the way. So that is September 16th, man. Already. Corpus
Yes.
Christi. And so I put the link to the event in YouTube on the chat. So
Okay.
if anyone is interested in going, then if you'll just indicate that,
It will be a Master Masons event,
yeah,
not a an entered apprentice or a fellow craft.
yeah. We got 25 interested so far. No one wholeheartedly committing yet, but we got 25 people interested. So that's a good indication, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Especially when they find out what all they're getting for the price.
yeah, it's
I
gonna
mean,
be a good
it's
time.
such yeah, it's such a good value to it'd be a shame if some people that I know didn't go.
It would be a
But
shame.
the reason I say it's going to be a master's is because it's going to end the night with a master's degree, and so I want everybody that is there all day that goes to the. I want them to go to the festive board, and then I want to go to the Lexington. I don't, and that way it's easier for us to talk about whatever we want to talk about, and not take a chance on giving somebody too much information.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Dan Best, even if you don't like to carry guns, it's not a bad idea to have one in your glove box in your car. Yeah, I'm a teacher though, so I don't like to. I don't want to forget that I have a gun and accidentally take it to school one day, just because I like to avoid issues, right? So if when I was a principal, we used to do like sweeps of the parking lot every once in a while with the cops, and so that's one of the things they're sniffing for is like gunpowder and stuff like that. So one of my fears is always like I would accidentally leave it in my glove box and go to work. So I don't even keep it in my glove box anymore. I don't want to put myself in a position where that could happen.
Yeah.
But I used to
When my kid
go ahead.
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, but I
Well,
used to
when
keep one in my glove box. That was all.
Yeah, I used to also, but I'm at that point now that if they need it more than me, I'll just give it to them. I don't care because I've
Oh,
got a
the money.
family. I've got to go home. Yeah,
Yeah,
I got a family to go home to. I can cancel all my cards. I don't need to be a hero.
yeah. I don't really carry cash,
I
so
don't either.
I mean, it's more of an inconvenience than anything because I'll be canceling like a lot of stuff. That's about it.
Yeah,
But yeah, other than that,
but I have a couple of guns, but I don't carry them with me. And I remember in high school there was a kid that had a 22 in his truck because they had gone hunting that weekend, and he had a 22 just like every good country boy does,
yeah,
and he got expelled for like 2 weeks or something like that.
man. When you were a kid,
Yeah,
wow.
even even when my even when not mine even when his dad told him that yeah we were hunting it, he just forgot.
Hmm.
He wouldn't do anything like
Wait, where'd
that.
you go to school at? Florida?
Uh, no, I went to school in Louisville and Florida.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering. I because I was in high school when Columbine happened. I was like a junior, and that's when people really seem to start worrying about it. Like they really seem to start caring. And so that's why I was asking
Right,
because you always hear stories about like country schools where kids would drive to school with like guns in their car and no one really cared just because it's country, right? But now
right.
it's all changed since then. The whole
Yep.
everything's changed. But
I didn't when I was in Florida, I didn't have to worry about anything really because this guy became friends with me and I didn't know, his background or anything. And come to find out his dad was like the grand master of the Ku Klux Klan Ku Klux Klan. Yeah, he was like the big dog in Florida. And so I always wondered why nobody ever talked to me or anything else, but that's why, because they were afraid.
Wow. And for the
Yeah.
record, we do not condone any kind of organization like that.
No, no, we do not.
No, we have no
We don't.
association with them, nor do we want to.
No, our our philosophy is figure out a way to work with each other to do stuff to accomplish things, not to be divisive
Yeah,
and hurt people that don't believe the same way that we do.
yeah. Sean
That's
Carter
just wrong.
says, "Heck, if I couldn't carry as a teacher, I'd keep throwing knives." I in my last teaching position, I was actually uh required to carry like a concealed carry for protection, protect the students and stuff. And man, that was such a pain in the butt. Like I don't like concealed carry. It's such a pain in the butt, especially when you're supposed to keep it secret. It's such a nuisance.
Right.
Um, so yeah, I don't have to do that now, and I'm happy. I prefer not to.
Right.
I just I don't know, man. I'm not a concealed carry guy. Like you see these guys that they got like the concealed carry, and then they got like a throwing knife or something, and all this extra stuff. I was like, dude, what are you expecting to run into, man? Like 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 what are you expecting? Honestly,
Right.
and
Well, and if you think about hermetic principle and all that kind of stuff, and you think about what comes around goes around, simple terms, if you're doing that, if you're carrying and you're loaded up to the hilt with all this ammo and stuff like that, you're kind of asking somebody to mess with you.
yeah.
It's almost like you want it to happen. But I don't know. That's just my opinion.
When
I
you
don't have any problem with people having guns. I know many people that do. So
No, I don't care.
that's
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm pro. I'm pro. I just don't like to carry. Like, I
right,
mean,
right.
uh,
Well,
I don't like
that's
to
what I'm
conceal
saying.
carry.
Exactly. I have a long range rifle and I have
Yeah,
a nice
I'm a
pistol.
rifle person. Like, I don't like handguns, but I carried a rifle for a while in the Air Force, right?
Right,
I don't mind rifles. I'm good with a rifle. I don't mind rifles. But when you're doing handguns and when you start conceal carrying stuff, like what? Okay, so the comment is, when you conceal a firearm, it's not meant to be comfortable. It's meant to be comforting, and I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that. I don't, I don't know. I don't know. Uh, as within, so without, your thoughts could become manifested if you give enough energy to them. Yes, absolutely, absolutely, and yeah, and if you arm yourself to the teeth, thinking about trouble, focusing on trouble, then you're gonna find trouble, right?
right,
Yeah. It's like my wife, I love my wife, but she's very negative minded, and she's always talking about, and especially her dad, because he's going through all this depression now, and woe is me, and I'm unlucky, and all this nonsense. And it's like, yeah, if you start saying stuff like that, if you believe you're unlucky, and if you say that, it's gonna manifest. I mean,
right,
that's just the way the universe works. Like if you keep talking about bad things happening, if you surround yourself with people that talk about bad things happening, that's part of the reason I'm so careful about who I let on my Facebook, because I don't want to see negative crap every time I go on the Facebook. But if you surround yourself with these negative thoughts, and you say these things to yourself, then absolutely it comes true. Absolutely. Yeah, we are what we
well,
tell
and
ourselves. Yeah.
and even the preachers at the different churches say the same thing. When you speak it, that's the whole reason for prayer. Once you put it into words, then you're manifesting that positive um, result,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
When you're praying and meditating, that's what you're trying to do, is become one with God and make those thoughts and ideas manifest.
Yeah.
So
It's like
you can do it unconsciously as well,
I was I'm gonna say talk a lot,
or
and
subconsciously.
some of these people were saying like you can like, oh, you could jump timelines if you say positive things while you're in the shower because water has special properties. It's like, no, dude, the shower is not a time machine, right? It's not some magic, it's not a TARDIS, right? But if you do say good things, if you do say positive things, like today's going to be a great day, I'm going to be successful today. I am a very lucky person. And like, I think that's the power of prayer. Like if you manifest and say these are the things I really want, and to say manifest and say these are my blessings, and this is my
Right.
gratitude for my blessings, then first of all you're changing your mindset because you're making yourself think of all positive things in your life, right? So right there it creates a mindset of abundance and gratitude,
Right.
right? But then you're telling the universe, hey, help me to be a better man, help me to be a better teacher, watch over and protect my family and keep them safe, yada yada yada. You're manifesting that stuff in the universe.
Right.
You could say, you're speaking directly to your deity or whatever when you pray, but I think that's what prayer is. It's you're speaking to the universe, and the universe is deity. It is whatever you. I
Yeah.
mean, and so you're
Well,
you're
it's
manifesting
within
that.
you. It's within you as well. So the more you talk positively about yourself and the things that you're doing, it you begin acting different as well within your surroundings. And so that just furthers that motion towards that manifestation.
Yeah. So Devin McLean says you got to put the work into, and yeah, you do absolutely, and I think
And
if
that's what I was talking about.
yeah, if you say I don't know, like if you just say um I want to lose 25 pounds, you say I want to lose 25 pounds every day. You may start losing weight anyway because you're like, I need to be careful of what I eat. And so you may start thinking of that, like, hey,
Right.
I'm making a point that I want to lose 25 pounds. I want to be careful what I eat. But then you might also say, hey, this is working. I want to start working out too on top of this. Like when you manifest these things, like I don't think the universe just hands you anything. Well, I say
Right.
that because I can't say that because you got people that are born into like rich families and stuff. Everyone's dealt a different hand where they're born, but I don't think the universe necessarily just hands you stuff either. I think
Right.
what's the old saying? What's that saying?
Feed the things you want
Well,
to
no, I was
grow.
gonna say God helps those that helps themselves, right? But yeah,
Oh,
you
okay.
also got to feed the things you want to grow and start the things that got to go. But if you're speaking about these things, then you're manifesting that, but you're feeding that because then it's on your mind. I think.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, and it causes you to carry yourself differently within your world. And so it's naturally going to progress towards
Take care, Nocton. Thanks for hopping in. Go ahead. Sorry, someone's heading out, so I'll just say bye.
who was?
Our newest member, Noctin,
Oh, okay.
Noktyn, but it's
Oh,
like
cool.
some symbols. So
Oh, very cool.
yeah,
But yeah, it's there's something to be said about, the positive influence. Otherwise, we wouldn't have all these motivational speakers making
yeah.
millions of dollars running around telling people to meditate on what they want.
Yeah, I think there's definitely some benefit. Like we should probably do like a video on manifestation at some point, just because. Or if you don't want to watch this, just go watch The Secret on Netflix because it's the same concept. Same
Right.
concept. Dan
Yeah.
Best says if you ask the universe for anything, first thing you need to do is expect the outcome desired. Also expect to work that comes with the outcome. There's no
Yes.
working the outcome that you think you won't you think you won't matter. I'm not sure of that, but yeah,
I understand what he's getting at.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. You got to put the work in.
yeah,
You got to put the
yeah. If you're not really you shouldn't approach just asking for handouts, right? Because that's not how the universe works.
right.
But if you're putting work in, really you're asking for your endeavors to be blessed. I think like this is
Yeah.
what I'm wanting. Please bless my endeavors towards it, and I think that will
Right.
happen. I think that definitely. But if you're asking specifically what you want, you're telling the universe this is my goal. And here's the
Right.
thing. As long as we're talking about manifestation, I think um, a lot of us coming from Christian backgrounds, we're taught to be humble, right, and be happy with what we have, right. But we live in a universe. Like if you just look at our galaxy, like the Milky Way galaxy, there are more resources. There's more wealth uh, uh, out there than the entire population of Earth could ever use, than the entire historic population of Earth could ever use. My point is, we live in a universe of untapped and unimaginable abundance. I mean,
Yeah.
there'll
Untapped,
say
untapped potential.
there was an asteroid. I don't remember where it was, but they did an analysis on it as it passed by. They're like, yeah, there's enough platinum on there to make everybody on Earth a billionaire, right? Which, of course, if you know anything about economics, then nobody would be a billionaire at that point. But
Right.
the point is, like, I mean, there's if you think I'm not gonna take my hat off, but if you think God or the universe or Thor or whatever made made this galaxy or this existence with riches out there that had never even been seen by man and will probably never even be tapped by man for a long period of time. And if you think that exists out there, but you can't ask for your needs, that's silly. That's silly. My point is like there's unimaginable wealth in existence that is there, right? And if you think that you can't ask for something, then you're forgetting the big picture. Like from my perspective, uh, if you want to look at it from a Christian perspective, God created this universe, and there's untold wealth out there in the universe, just floating around in space that no one's even going to mine anytime soon, right? So if you can't ask for uh, the money to pay your bills out of like a fear of not being humble, then you're missing the point. You're missing the
Right.
point because why?
Humility doesn't mean you're poor.
No, if you're a good Christian and if you believe in God and if you want to take the approach of praying God for enough money to pay your bills, but you don't think you're worthy, why would you
Yeah.
think
It ain't
that
gonna
when you
happen.
got entire
Yeah.
asteroids out there with more wealth than you'll ever make in a lifetime? It's not. It's there, and I think that's the point. Like,
Yeah.
what's this? It's like a biblical thing. Why? Like, how's it work? It's basically, and I think it's Jesus, and he's talking about, you know, I take care of the birds and the flowers every day, and they don't ask for anything. What makes you think I won't take care of you, or something along those
Right.
lines, right? I'm not. I'm
Yeah.
not. I'm not Brother Fluff. I can't just quote offhand. But he's like, I clothe the flowers and I provide for the birds. What makes you think that you, who I love, I wouldn't take care of? It's the same. It's the
Right.
same mentality. Like, dude, there's asteroids of gold floating around out there in space. You think if you don't ask, I can't provide you with what you need? There's more
Right.
wealth than King Solomon could ever dream of, just floating out there.
Yep.
Let's look at the
I
comments.
concur.
You better. Let's see. Let's look at the comments. Devin McClain, it may appear it comes from nowhere, but energetically something occurred, whether it was some sort of transfer or whatnot. Energy cannot be created or destroyed and is above our human understanding. Yeah, absolutely. And
I truly believe that as
yeah,
well.
yeah. It may look like some people like they win the lottery, and you're like, man, they're just lucky, right? Well, first of all, it's a terrible mentality. There's no such thing as luck or coincidence. But what you don't see is maybe that they had a really hard time before that, or maybe they had a rough childhood, or
Right.
or or what I often see is they get a lot of money, but they turn around and waste it, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing comes from nothing. Nothing comes out of a vacuum. And so they may have karmically already paid for it, if that makes sense. Maybe they had a rough childhood, right? Or it all ends up being equal anyway because they don't know how to take care of it.
Right.
Um, John T says, "Have faith, but tie your camel." Yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely. Have faith, but yeah, that makes sense. I know a brother who might be up for talking about all this. He'll talk your ear off about this. Yeah, send us his name. This honestly, this would have been a great. I hate to say it. This would have been a great Paul Rayner conversation, I think. But
Right. I know.
uh,
I know. And I was thinking the same thing because in that the other night when we did that vigil and I was talking to everybody, I told them I truly believe that, the energy in every hug that we had, he left his energy in me and I left my energy in him. And that's why the friendship and, developed so strong.
mhm.
And I think that that's a reality, that if you hang around with negative people, that bad energy is going to flow into you.
Yep.
And, and then you are a victim of circumstance,
Yeah.
but you put yourself in circumstance or left yourself in that.
There's a reason
Go
that
ahead.
highly successful people are very particular about who they surround themselves with. And that's why I always say, like, if you want politicians or business owners or lawyers and doctors, did I say that, to be involved in Lodge again, you can't be a negative place. Because these are people that
Right.
don't want to waste their time hearing negative crap. Because here's
They're
why.
high functioning people.
If you take a positive person and put them in a negative environment, two things are going to happen. One or two things. Either they're going to elevate everybody around them and that's not an easy task.
Yeah,
Or
it's
or the
usually
alternative,
the other way.
yeah, or the alternative is they'll wear on them and they'll start being negative, right?
Well,
But if
a
you
good
take a negative
example.
person and you put them in a positive environment, the alternative is going to happen, right?
Right.
They're going to start hopefully, right? They're going to start having more positive thoughts. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I wanted to
No,
give
that's
the
okay.
other side of
I
the
was going
coin.
to say something silly anyways. The if you think about it, that movie, 22 Jump Street,
Hmm.
when they're tripping and
I've never seen it.
and oh man, so there's this one part where they've taken these drugs, right? Like they did in the first one. They took these drugs and then they start tripping balls. And during that, uh, Tate is over on this side and his is all rainbows and lollipops, and he's happy that he's in this place. And then what's his name? Jonah Hill is on the other side, and it looks like hell, and it's playing Creed music, and and so Tatum is starting to float upwards, and he's all happy about it, and Jonah is pulling him down, trying, you can't leave me, you have to come in,
Hmm.
trying to ruin his trip.
Yeah.
But that's the reality of it. Is that if we surround ourselves with people like that, then it's really easy to become one of those people.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And someone made a comment. I don't know what to say anymore, but basically they said you get what you deserve, and I think it's something that's important to consider. Is you may see these people and it looks like they never had a hard time in their life. They're born in the money. They
Right.
live with money, right? But you don't. And I keep saying karma. I'm not. I'm not like a. But I think that's a real thing. But maybe a better way of saying it is you reap what you sow. And where I'm going with this is they may look like they have everything, but they may be terrible people, right? And
Right.
so even if they look like they never have any consequences in their life, when they die, there's consequences, right?
Yeah.
And I don't care. It doesn't matter if you're coming from a Christian perspective, if you're coming from a reincarnation perspective. You nothing is free in the universe, right? You put the work in, good things. You put the work in, you have a positive mentality, good things happen, right? But if you reap bad things, you sow bad things, and it doesn't
Yes.
matter if you harvest that during your life, or or after you die. But at some point it gets harvested, good and bad.
Right.
Oh, Sean Carter sent me the name of who he's talking about. Do you know Bobby Williams, Dennis?
That sounds familiar.
Bobby Quizon Lozano Williams.
Oh, yeah.
You know him?
Yeah. Hold on just a second. Let me
Oh, he's one of my friends. Let's look here.
That's what I was.
Oh yeah,
There he
I
is.
met him at OLT in Houston.
Why is my stuff not working?
I met him before. Yeah, yeah. I know him. Oh well, thanks for sending the name. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Let's see. Yeah. All right. With that said, though, it is almost midnight. We've been going at this for almost 2.5 hours now, and I'm tired, man. I gotta wake up
Man, it
early.
only feels like 2 hours to me.
Oh, his grandfather was a grandmaster in the Philippines. I did not know that about him. That's interesting.
Hmm,
Very cool.
nice.
Yep. But with that said, I'm gonna wrap this bad boy up because I'm gonna turn to a pumpkin here. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna turn to a pumpkin here. So, with that said, if you have not gave the video a like, I would humbly ask that you please do so before you log off for the evening. And if you're not a member, please consider checking out the link that where's it at? Let's do this. Please consider checking out the link at the comment that I stickied at the top. You get access to ad-free content, exclusive content, and it's just a great way to support us. But we also return the favor by giving you access to other things that other people do not. So if you have not considered becoming a member of our channel, here I'm gonna post the link again. If you've not considered it, or maybe even if you have considered it but haven't done it yet, I would encourage you to check it out. It's a great way to support Masonic improvement. Great way to have access, and we're also working on creating new content just for you guys, like members only streams and things like that. Members only Zoom videos and meetings and stuff. So it's a great way to be involved if you like that. Sean Carter, thanks
Okay.
again. Devin McClain, another great stream. Thank you, sir. Definitely appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank
Yes,
you.
yes. And S. Cleveland says, thank you very much. Well, this is all for you guys, so I'm really glad that you all enjoyed it and stuck around and appreciated it. I know midnight on Sunday night is not always the best time for everybody. It's the best time for me because I got 3 kids, but it's not the best time for everybody. So definitely appreciate that, and it's always great to see support even so late. And hopefully this summer,
Yeah.
maybe we can start working out, maybe earlier or something. I like to do a few more lives during the summer, just for the sake of it. So, but that's a ways away.
Yeah, we need to get to that point to where we do it at different times and see which is going to be most beneficial to
Yeah.
our listeners.
Yeah,
For sure.
I was actually thinking earlier today. Is like, man, there's so much more we could be doing, right? Like creating content on a regular basis, like on the on the website and on Facebook and stuff. It's like, man, just not enough time of the day. So maybe in
Right.
summer when I don't have a full time job as much, but yeah, when you got bills to pay, it's hard to give it the attention you'd like to. But
Right.
I feel like I feel like this is good. This is good momentum. I like the lives and what we're doing so
Yeah,
far. So
we're still recording
mhm.
on Wednesdays so that we can release and so it's a benefit.
Yeah, well, we're recorded Friday this week, so we're a little behind, but it will be out soon for sure, and it's a good one. I liked it.
Yeah, I did too.
Yep. All right, guys. Thank y'all again, and see you next Sunday.
Keep it between the points, brothers.